gentleman from Georgia, Mr. Hice, is recognized for 5 minutes. Mr. Hice.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just for the record, from what I can research and understand, there are some 300,000 or so crimes committed every year, violent crimes in which guns are a part of the situation. There are between 500,000 and 3 million incidences a year where guns prevent violent crimes from taking place. So let's clarify here, the issue is not gun violence. Guns are not the issue. We have a people violence problems who misuse guns and other means whenever they intend to harm individuals. And the answer to this situation, when you have violent people, the answer is not defunding the police. The answer is not pitting one group of Americans against another, which we see far too often these days. The answer is not ignoring the rule of law. The answer is not releasing criminals into our streets or allowing them into our country. The answer is not a lack of consequences for those who commit crimes and being soft on crime for those who commit violent crimes. We have got to look at the problem, which is violent people. And at some point in this country, we've got to recognize that there is great value in upholding the rule of law. We've got to recognize and teach that there is a such thing as moral absolutes, not the least of which is respecting one another and respecting life. We've got to, in the midst of this conversation, I believe, embrace religious beliefs. Look, there are risks that come with a free society. We all understand that. But we have a moral and a spiritual crisis in this country right now, and that is reflected in violent people that we see more and more. But it is impossible for us to have a system of government, which we have in this country, where we have limited government and maximum freedom, if we do not have a citizenry that is capable of self-governing their own lives with an authentic understanding of right and wrong. And so for us to take out of the equation any mention of moral absolutes or the role that our founders mentioned and described as indispensable supports to our system of government, which is morality, religion and morality, then I believe we're making a mistake in all of this discussion. These things cannot be ignored. Mayor Adams, let me real quickly begin with you, and if we can go quickly. New York City is certainly one of the leading examples of gun restrictions and gun restrictive measures in the United States. Yes or no? Yes. Your mic was off.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes.
And yet, we all know New York has continued in recent years to see a rise in crime. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. In January of this year, you released in a press statement regarding your blueprint to end gun violence in New York City. You had in that a quote that says this: "It is illegal to carry a gun in our city, yet police officers take them off the streets every day in record numbers." You made that statement correct?
Yes, and many comes from Georgia.
Right. And so here we still have, in a city that has the greatest among the greatest gun restriction laws in the country, a rise in crime and guns being carried off the streets in record numbers every day. It doesn't appear that the attempts that are produced by the gun restrictions are having any effect of keeping bad people from getting guns and taking the constitutional rights away from American citizens only helps criminals, is I guess what I'm getting to. Ms. Swearer, let me come to you. If we continue down this path of restricting gun rights from American citizens, making it easier for criminals to have targets, knowing that there will not be guns by legal citizens there to defend themselves, what kind of impact will that have in the long run?
First, I want to make sure that, is my mic still not on? The
Can we put a pause on?
Use your neighbor's mic. Use your neighbor's mic. Maybe that'll work better.
My apologies, I was told the issue had been taken care of. Congressman, to answer your question, criminals are rational actors. You look at the studies on this and the way in which criminals operate. Obviously, they don't want to confront someone with a firearm any more than we would want to if we were criminals. They are rational actors. You mentioned the statistics on defensive gun uses. I think that is important to point out. I would also note how much lower that is, considering there are a number of states that essentially do not allow ordinary law-abiding citizens to protect themselves with firearms in public and/or who make it far more difficult for individuals to keep and bear arms even inside their own homes, and so that could be considerably higher under different circumstances. That said, again, I appreciate you pointing that out, but again, criminals are rational actors. To pretend otherwise is borderline silly. So of course,
Gentleman's time has expired. Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair.